Many decades ago, two young people fell in love and decided to go to the altar to exchange their vows and to get married. This they did, and they lived happily together, had children, male and female. But after some years, due to the job of the husband, he was transferred from the city where they lived to another city. And somehow along the way, he fell in love with somebody else. So sad. And settled down with the other lady in the new city. He left his bride with his children in the former city. But somehow, the old bride never gave up on her, what I call husband. Like I actually want to use like her youthful, what I call it, her youth lover. Yeah, the lover. I mean, she had always known when she was young. She just refused to give up on him, and she was there with the children, even though because of the new relationship, she wasn't allowed to stay in the home that they've known together to be theirs. So she had to move out of the house, and she was staying in a rented apartment with her children. She raised the children, they kept growing, they became adults. And somewhere along the line, after many years, this woman refused to get married, or like what we have in this present age. I don't think in this present age we'll have a lot of people who would do that. She actually waited, was with her children, and after many years, let me come back to where I stopped. After many years, the husband came back home. And I would like to say I was actually present at the man's 70th birthday, where he celebrated it with his very first sweetheart, with their children who are now adults, who have children, and they're both grandparents. And they moved back to their home that they've all together built together and known to be their home. And some years afterwards, this man grew older and passed away. This is Love Word for the week, and I welcome you to another wonderful love word. A love word for this week is patience. And that's why I actually said that story. Now, looking at the dictionary meaning of patience, patience is the capacity to accept or tolerate delay, trouble, or suffering without getting angry or upset. Reading that definition, I think I should read it one more time. Patience is the capacity to accept or tolerate delay, trouble, or suffering without getting angry or upset. Looking at that definition, it looks like something that is very difficult to do. But this is actually one of the characteristics of love. And I'm going to read that to us in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4. It says, love suffered long and is kind. Love envied not. Love wanted not itself. It is not puffed up. That suffered long in the King James Version is what is used in place of patient. Let me see. Now, looking at that definition, I'm just trying to be sure that, that is it. Looking at that definition, patience defined is almost like impossible, because it says that ability to tolerate delay, trouble, or suffering, that is still understandable, bearable. I mean, you could still say, okay, I have capacity to suffer long. I have capacity to tolerate and accommodate delay. But where he now ends it, he now says, without getting angry or upset. It's one thing to accommodate delay. And you're not happy. You might just begin to grumble and somehow express the fact that you are upset, though not violent about it. But to not say that it is ability to tolerate delay, suffering, having the capacity to just hold on. And there's another one I would like to read to us, that even when people are not getting it, you can just still bear with them. It says it means you can remain calm even when you have been waiting forever or dealing with something painstaking, slow, or trying to teach someone something and they just don't get it. You are trying to put up with something, and patience is like you still have the ability and the capacity to be calm at the same time. That's the most difficult aspect of it. Because I see that sometimes you can be patient with people. I'm using the word patient now, but that's what we say. But to really be patient means when people are not where you want them to be, and you just have to bear with them. You don't rub it on their face. You don't insult them. You are not violent against them. You are calm. You are receiving it without being upset. And I read this, I was like, this is difficult. I know how it is as a mother to be patient with children. Even though I'm telling them I'm patient, I'm still patient, but I'm talking. I'm not doing the detail of what this thing is saying, like I'm not upset. I am upset. So the point I'm just trying to bring out is, I love word for this week. If we really, really want to be practical about it, so many of us are falling short, but we have to live intentionally. I'm somebody that preaches that we have to live intentionally. The fact that you are not there today doesn't mean you cannot get there. So the love word for this week is patient, having the capacity to accommodate delay, to accommodate people's shortcomings, and tolerate whatsoever that is coming your way, suffering, and you still tolerate and accommodate everything calmly without being upset. And that's why I started with that story of this lovely couple I talked about. It's a real life story. I actually know the family. And looking at it, I don't think a lot of people will do what that woman did. So many other people would have opted out, maybe divorced the man, gone to another relationship, and the whole thing would just be messed up. But here was the woman patiently waiting for her husband after many years. And truly, he came back. And they came back together, and they were together in their old age. That this man actually died, reconciled with his wife. I don't know how many people will do that in this generation. But this is the message for us this week, that for love to grow, for love to continue to thrive, for us to have children raised in a loving environment, not with the complications of separation, divorce. I talk about this all the time. Separation and divorce is like, sometimes somebody might be looking at me and say, you don't understand what it takes to live with this man, or you don't understand what I'm going through with this woman, and that's why you are talking like this. I know that sometimes people could be very difficult, but if we can just understand the requirements of love, there are so many things that we'll do sacrificially, and we'll just trust God for His grace to help us. And you'll see that we'll have better love relationships. Somebody that is not thinking right today, when showered with a lot of patience, can still come back, just like the story of the couple I talked about, and everything can still end well. I can imagine the joy of the children of this couple. Being able to go to their home, their family house, to see their parents with their children, and the grandchildren are running around their grandparents. Not that they are visiting the grandfather in a different house, the grandmother in a different house. But this woman did not just, this did not just happen. This woman made it happen by her patience, patiently waiting for her youthful lover. I don't know. You get my point. The lover of her young age, when she was very young. She patiently waited. And I'm sure that while waiting, she must have been praying. For you to expect somebody to come back, that means you are doing something to make him come back. So the love word for this week is patience. I want us to give people more gifts of patience, understanding, pray for them, accommodate them, and I see God helping us. Before I round up, let me just read this scripture, Ephesians 4:2. I've talked about patience before, so it must really be important for it to be coming up again. Ephesians chapter 4 verse 2. I'm going to read that to us, and that's where I'm going to stop. Ephesians 4 verse 2. It says, with all lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one another in love. We should forbear one another in love. If I may add verse 3, it says, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. If we really want to keep this love alive, to keep peace, unity, we just have to give in to patience. We just have to open ourselves to this virtue that is called patience. This is love word for this week, and I believe you've gained something from this word. Let us deal with people with more patience. Let us live intentionally. If you find yourself in a situation where you just feel like flaring up, boiling, saying some nasty words because it looks like legitimate. It looks like if you say anything or you get angry, it's legit. Please just calm down. This is how we can fan the flames of love. Patience is very, very key to long-time love relationship. If you want to keep love flowing in your relationship, as a married couple, as an engaged couple, as maybe neighbors, colleagues at work, we just have to be patient. I'll see you next week with another love word for the week. Bye-bye.